Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Bienvenidos, welcome. First to Climb Higher celebration, the inaugural First to Climb Higher celebration. Welcome. First Gen Scholars. Welcome to First Gen Scholars, staff, faculty, senior administration, family and friends, and those joining us online as we are live streaming the event. The vision for today was simple, to celebrate you, our first generation college graduates who are soon to become college graduates. I currently work as the Director of Student Retention and Educational Innovation, and part of what that means is not just how do we retain you, but how do we allow for you to continue and persist to graduation. And that's what the goal is, right? That's why you start the journey. First Gen Scholars, soon to be First Gen graduates, during your time at Kane, you have encountered many firsts. Maybe your first moment was stepping into a college classroom and realizing that what you were learning for the first time was review for someone else. Maybe it was the first time you pulled an all-nighter, not because you didn't plan ahead, but because no one had ever shown you how to plan ahead. Maybe it was the first time that you studied for hours, only to learn that studying in high school wasn't quite the same as studying in college. But also, maybe your first came when you raised your hand in class and realized that your voice mattered. Maybe it was the first time you met a mentor who saw your potential, even when you were still learning to see it yourself. Or the moment you realized you didn't have to climb higher all on your own. That there was a community of people here at the university, advisors, professors, mentors, ready to walk alongside you and help you persist towards your goals. That even if your family didn't fully understand the college journey, they supported you the best they knew how, with love, with sacrifice, with pride. That friends old and new showed up to cheer you on, remind you of your worth, and push you forward when things got hard. Maybe the first was realizing that there's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it's one of the bravest things you can do. That's the thing about being first. You're opening doors not just for yourself, but for everyone who'll come after you. You are paving the way for future generations, for your siblings, your cousins, your neighbors, and maybe one day, your own children. First generation students are gritty. You're entrepreneurial, innovating as you go. You are translators of culture, of expectations, of dreams, building bridges where none existed before. But let's be honest, being first sometimes means being the only one in the room who doesn't know the unspoken rules, the only one navigating FAFSA, syllabi, and self-doubt, research and tech, all at once. And yet here you are. And here's what I want you to know. You never stop being first. Graduation doesn't end your journey of firsts. It only opens the door to new ones. You'll be the first in your family to sign a lease on your own or negotiate a salary, the first to pursue a graduate or professional degree, the first to lead a team, sit at the table, or maybe even own the table, the first to choose a job or a career, not for survival, but because it gives you purpose, the first to say, I belong here, and mean it. So as you step into this next chapter, take pride in your journey. Celebrate all of your firsts, even the hard ones. Carry your story with you like a badge of honor. You are not just graduating from Kane University, you are graduating into leadership, into legacy, into the next chapter of firsts. Thank you for allowing us to celebrate you and showing up to celebrate yourself, for being the first to climb higher. Thank you. Students always do it better. Our mistress of ceremonies is one of our future graduates. I'd like to welcome to the stage EOF scholar Tiffany Cooper.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's a celebration. Good evening. So first and foremost, I would like to thank the Student Office of Retention and Educational Innovation for this amazing opportunity to speak before you today and to also serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies. Our first speaker is one of the absolute coolest and most dedicated individuals you will ever meet. It is our president, my president, Dr. Raffle.
Wow, that's a lot to live up to, huh? I mean, but I will probably say, yes, I agree. Wow. Before I get to my remarks, there was a couple things that I just want to just say off the top of my head. As I walked in the room, I realized how special this graduating class is to me. Then I also walked the room and I saw an individual that I worked with when I started my first tenure as an administrator in the Carter Public Schools. Rosie Diaz, please stand up. She is the national president of it's the first Latina organization in the country, LTA, is it right? And so, and as national president, I need to treat her with such respect, the fact that we do have a national president in our presence. So thank you, Madam President, for coming here today and to ensuring that we have representation. But more so, as we strip away titles, I just see Rosie. And I'm gonna get to the point, but I wanna kind of tie things together. So Rosie and I, we went to high school together, Carter High School, and we became administrators together at Carter Elementary School, Columbus Elementary School. So it was the first time that the Carter School District had an African-American principal and a Latina as the vice principal. And we were relatively young, I think 27, 20, was it ages 27? 20, 26, 20, something like that, 32 and 26. So you're looking at two young, but what we were was we were first generation students, right? So I'm gonna get to my remarks, but I want to say that because you're a first generation student, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? And we walked into this position together not knowing the challenges is to educate all. And we went in there through innovation and through access and through excellence and created a standard that having people in the likes of Carteret School District have not seen probably since we left together. So I want to just shout you out, Rosa, for being my partner in crime back then as well. Thank you. Muchas gracias, señora. And so I got some remarks that I'm going to be saying in graduation that's a little special, right? My daughter's graduating this year. She's second generation because I was first. But I look around the room and there's faces that I recognize, right? This is the first graduating class that was on campus after COVID. So you guys are special to me. My first year was 2020, and those students were actually working remotely from home. But I remember with such excitement the first year that having students on campus. And I look around, I see Mackenzie, right? And I'm seeing all these faces, and I'm like, I do recognize. So it's just great to now be in a position where you students, I remember you from the time you walked in and saw the development, right? And so you have been poured in by individuals that truly cared about you. Individuals who see education or saw education through your lens as a first generation student. So if you're any employee or faculty or staff from Kane University, if you're a first generation, please raise your hand. See, that says a lot, right? That says a lot. So I'm going to say graduates, families, and loved ones, faculty, staff, and guests, welcome to Kane University. Today marks a milestone for Kane University and for everyone gathered here today. This is our inaugural ceremony dedicated to honoring first-generation college students who are graduating this year. Graduates, take a moment to let that settle in. You're making history for yourselves, for this university, and more importantly, for your families. You know, see, this moment speaks to me on many levels. As the president of this incredible university, and especially as someone who shares your story, I was the first in my family to go to college. I remember arriving on campus, my mother just truly just dropped me off, right? And I remember being on campus with more questions than answers and carrying the hopes of my family, the Repellette name, on my shoulders. There was pride, yes, but also fear, uncertainty, and the pressure of stepping into unfamiliar territory without an example to guide me. See, because I had this fear of failure, I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed because I was the first. And I can also say, at the end of my freshman year, they almost asked me to leave college because I didn't have the mentor, I didn't have the guidance, the mentors. I had mentors, but I shied away because I wasn't prepared for the rigor of college. I wasn't prepared for the expectation of college. And I ran away from the mentors. I ran away from the program. I was an EOF student. I ran away from EOF, right? And I'm going to say today that I'm here today because my mentor, who I listened to finally, who grabbed me, he was 6'5", black male, and with a deep voice, and he was Afrocentric. And he said, "Get over here." And he grabbed me up, and he said, "You don't know what you're missing. You're blowing an opportunity." You know, when you're 18, 19 years old, you don't really, come on, man, stop it. You know, I'm not blowing anything, you know, so what, I got an F, right? But I got like 2, 3 Fs. But I didn't realize later on what he was doing to tell me that, you know, and he kept on telling me that we're kings and queens, but you don't believe it. You don't really believe in yourself. Because to me, I was there because I was decent in college, in high school, right? In grades, academic school, always came easy for me. But I never took it serious, you know? And I think so, and he passed away a few weeks ago. And on the 19th, I'll be honoring him. I'm the master of ceremonies, his ceremony. And to me, you talking about the circle of life, coming back where I'm now going back to my alma mater, undergraduate school, and I'm standing there representing Mr. James Boatwright. And if I can do it, you can do it, right? So that was just a little aside for me. So I had some of the same questions as all of you. You know, that whole call it imposter syndrome, right? I even get that now, guys, to be honest with you. As a matter of fact, I got it about 2 weeks ago. Right? All the success I'm having, I'm still saying, am I good enough? Right? Still questioning, wow, am I the right one for this job? Still questioning, do I belong here? And I'm always saying, I'm always thinking about, what if I fail? What would be the story? He wasn't really all that. He wasn't that great. And I go by this song that reminds me all the time, they don't love you, and they only love you right now. So yes, even me, I get those thoughts in my head. But because of my lived experiences, because of the things that I've been through as an administrator, as a teacher, and the things in school, I bounce back very quickly. Very quickly, I snap out of it. I'm here. And why not me? Right, so you can have those doubts. But I remember when it felt like being a first. We talked about the responsibilities, but here at Keynote, we do something special. I call it the secret sauce. But Dr. Gray, my colleague back at Carter Public Schools too, who took a chance on me when I left Carteret to be the superintendent of Asbury Park, right? And I asked somebody, I said, would you come with me? Because no one else wanted to come with me to Asbury Park. It was one of the lowest rated school districts in the state, and no one didn't want to take a risk. And she gave up her tenure, and we all know how important that is, to come and take a risk on me. And now I'm happy to say that Dr. Sancha Gray is now our Dean of the College of Education. So as I say this, Dr. Gray, thank you for believing in me back then. You know, because the song that reminds me of this moment, of my trials and tribulations as a first-generation student, when Mr. Boatwright passed away, I turned on his song, his gospel, and said that he saw the best in me when others didn't see the best in me, right? And so at Kane University, though, we see the best in you. Why? Because A, of our lived experiences, but B, because 43% of our students are the first in their families to go to college. And this is not just something, this is historical that came. Dr. Bailey will tell you, she's been here for a while, understand that we have always had students that come in as first-generation students and go on to do great things. So we do have that secret sauce. And guess what? You guys are here. You're testament to what we have been doing over the last 170-something years, right? And so this is not merely a statistic. It's an essential part of our identity, our DNA, and who we do. Being first generation means pulling through even when things don't make sense, right? It means doing homework after long hours when you have to work a couple of jobs. You guys remember that? It's you're an athlete. It's going to your sports practice and your games, but still coming back. It's a mom, right, who has kids at home, and you still have to be the provider at home. You still have to be the role model at home, and you still have to be the first, right? And so the pressure you do. So I want to thank all the moms out here that are out here doing, representing very well and being the first, right? And so the pressures is real. The things that you go through. So it means taking on responsibility when no one else sees and sees you showing up anyway, right? With determination, dignity, and more importantly, your vision. So this is what you have done. Graduating from Kane is a significant achievement. You're earning your degree from New Jersey's Urban Research University, a nationally recognized research institution. You have contributed to our campus, committed to excellence, access, and innovation, where research meets real-world impact. You did not just participate in this environment. I talked about the tapestry we have here with diversity, right? You enriched our university, our culture. Every time that you not just did your homework and passed the test, but every time you interacted, every time you participated in a club, led student government, whatever you did, you enriched into our university. You contribute to as the 18th president, I always talk about my chapter. You have enriched and poured into my chapter, the 18th chapter. And that means a lot to us. But you have also carried the hopes of your families, the pride of your communities, and sometimes the quiet voices of those who came before you, who never had the opportunity. So just raise your hand here if you ever felt the pressure of being a first-generation student. Raise your hand if you thought about the sacrifices that your parents made for you to be in this position, right? Raise your hand if you have a sibling, and that sibling, and you're the oldest, whatever the youngest, and then the sibling look at you and say, I want to be like my sister, my brother, right? So you understand that it's real, right? So when you walk across this stage, right, on the 13th, guess what? You're carrying them with you. And there's no greater honor into carrying that legacy, whether you're starting it because you're the first one, but remember, you're a pioneer, right? You're a pioneer. And that right there is the greatest. Because there's no blueprint for you. There's no blueprint for me. You learn by trial and error. You learned a lot of things. And you know in the future what you can and cannot do. But that diploma bears your name, but not alone. But your achievements belong to you as well as many, including those who help you get there. So it radiates outwards through the lives of your siblings, friends, and all those who now believe this path is possible because of you. So just imagine, right? We have students in our dual enrollment programs that are going to college and high school at the same time, right? They are trailblazers. So you're forging a path that was difficult at times. But, they always say that, through the eye of the storm, right? But in the storm, you don't understand in that moment, right, what you're learning through the storm. But rainbows only occur after a storm. So at the end of the storm is your rainbow. So when you graduate, that is your rainbow, right? Because only you There's this unknown author that said, "Thy themselves are makers of themselves." And it's so true when you're dealing with a first-generation student. You are. Thy themselves are makers of themselves. So don't let anyone tell you that you cannot become whatever you dream. And when you dream, please dream big. I call it BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Dream so big that when you tell people your dreams, they're going to laugh at you and think that you're crazy as hell. But that's okay, because only the crazy ones make history. Right? Remember that. Only the crazy ones make history. Only the ones who think big. So just imagine when they was playing with the filaments and they was discovering light, right? Or now you guys at the cell phone and be able to talk and text. That wasn't here years ago, right? So take the leap. Take a leap of faith. Take it with your career, your personal life. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail forward. Get up, dust yourself off. That's resilience, and grit, and grind. You know, Nipsey Hussle say, grinding all your life, right? So you're going to continue to grind because you grind to get here, right? Because you're the first one. So I'm going to say I want you to continue grinding all your life. And remember this moment. Remember the 13th when you walk across that stage, when they call your name and they show your picture up there and your family's yelling and screaming or hooting and hollering and something like the big fat head faces of you. They have, you know, your novios, your boyfriends, your people are going to be like, oh, that's great, right? But remember this. Remember this. They cannot ever take that away from you. No matter what executive orders come down, no matter what laws are implemented, no matter what policies are in place, thy themselves are makers of themselves. So if you remember nothing that I ever told you in the 4 years and the 5 years you've been here, remember this: you are the captain of your own ship. You write your own story, your own narrative. You don't let anyone else write that story, because then you give away your power. So for the class of 2025, my first generation colleagues and peers and brothers and sisters, understand that you have went through the storm. Now go get your rainbow, pick it up, and dream big, and go ahead and get that. Congratulations, class of 2025. Love you.
Speaker who will be delivering the student address, whom I affectionately like to call my Kenzie Pop. She is such an amazing light. She is such a inspiring spirit. Always like just, you know, boosting others and just kind of pouring into those around her. And this is none other than my friend, also my travel buddy. We were able to study abroad together with our university in South Africa. The current president of the Student Government Association, Ms. Mackenzie Kuntz.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Tiffany, thank you so much for that introduction. You're so sweet. So yes, as Tiffany mentioned, my name is Mackenzie Kuntz, and I have had the honor of serving as the Student Government Association president here at Kane University for the past 2 consecutive years. But today, I'm standing here not just as a student leader, but also as a proud first-generation college student preparing for graduation in May. Let's get excited for graduation, right? Yes. So it wasn't until I started my journey at Kane University and meeting Viviana and Marvin and everybody in the Office of Student Retention and Educational Innovation that I recognized my belonging in a traditionally unsupported group. Many instances of not knowing in high school and even the beginning of my college journey left me overwhelmed with anxiety and made me feel as if I was falling behind in comparison to my peers, particularly those from college-educated households. I can recall conversations that sounded almost in a foreign language to me because the jargon of higher education was just a language that I didn't understand. I became comfortable in the uncomfortable, unafraid to ask questions, and speak up in spaces that were unfamiliar to me. My inquisitive nature and desire to learn, which I believe have been great contributors to my academic success and progress, are undoubtedly tied and are results of my experiences being the first. As some of you may relate to, the journey has not been easy at all, right? I see some head nods. It has not been easy, but it has been powerful. Thinking back to 2 years ago, we celebrated our halfway point to walking the stage. And some of you might have been at that halfway to graduation ceremony. I had the pleasure of speaking at that as well. And we were all gifted this key to graduation, which I have with me today. So this to me is very special. It's a symbol of how this journey has made me stronger, more grateful, and more determined than ever. And I hope that you are all feeling that same way today too. Being the first in your family to walk this path is not just a personal achievement, it is a shared one. I know that some of you have your families here today. I just want to take a moment to give them a round of applause and recognize them for all of their support. So I would just like to shout out, my parents are here in the audience. So to my parents, yes, thank you. To some of my friends that are here in the audience, some fellow travel buddies. I see some friends that I've known since elementary school, a long time ago, right? It's an honor to be here with all of you today to celebrate our first-gen status and approaching graduation. And of course, everyone. I have too many names to list off for everybody in the Kane community that has supported me throughout this journey, and I could not be more grateful, and I couldn't have reached this point without all of you. So as you all continue to make your mark on the world, whether that's by entering the workforce, continuing on to higher education, graduate school, etc., or taking another path, do your best to change the perspective of not knowing instances to always learning moments. Be proud of where you come from and know that you are right where you need to be. Thank you, and congratulations once again.
Can we give one more round of applause to my Kinspop? That was awesome. So now we will have a special presentation by Senior Vice President of Administration, Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. And we're also going to bring back, whom I affectionately call Ms. Z, but Ms. Viviana Zambrano, Director of Office for Student Retention and Educational Innovation.
You ready to do this? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. How you all doing? Good, good. So first, to climb higher, I want to call you all trailblazers. So congratulations, first and foremost, to the students, to the family members. What a long journey it is to get here. What a special place and time. I sat back as Dr. Replet was providing his remarks and selfishly thought of myself, and I'm just so proud of all of you. And I'm privileged and honored to share this time with you this afternoon. So, speaking of trailblazers, and first, this afternoon, Viviana and I have the pleasure to talk about two organizations that were founded right here on our campus. Back then, we were called Kane College. So it was a long time ago, almost 50 years. It'll be 50 years in December. And that's not a coincidence. You see, Kane University has a legacy of being first in many ways. So if you, I don't want to go on about the many first, but if you're curious about it, I encourage you to please visit our university archives that are located at the Liberty Hall Academic Center. I think you will be surprised, pleasantly surprised, at how much pride and how much work and how many firsts we've had here at this university. It was sometime right around 1968 when EOF was first came to be here in New Jersey. And then shortly thereafter, Kean University, another first, established the Spanish-speaking program, which is now called Supera. And that was founded in 1972. It opened up the door for an opportunity for Hispanics here on this campus to really find a place and a space, just like I talked about all of us have found here. It opened a new door. And back then, we not opened, that door was not just ajar, it was completely open. We had the opportunity to establish two trailblazing organizations on this campus. That would be Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated and Lambda Theta Phi Latino Fraternity Incorporated. Both were born from unity, pride, and perseverance. And so today, this afternoon, we're so honored. I think that Viviana and I think, are especially honored because we're members of each one of these organizations. And so for us, thank you. Thank you. For us, we're really deeply moved by the fraternity and the sorority's longstanding commitment to scholarship, to leadership, to brotherhood and sisterhood, and to the Latino and Latina unity. Across the decades, we have had unwavering dedication, and we have seen the impact that both organizations have had across communities, across the country in terms of developing leaders and championing cultural pride. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I will ask Viviana to read parts of this proclamation, and then we'll have the members come up here. All right?
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. And part because it's a really long and really nice proclamation, but I'm going to read you a part that I think it really exemplifies why we're here having this moment. So this is from the Senate and General Assembly, the joint legislative resolution by Senate President Scutari, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, and all members of the legislature. Whereas the year 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of Lambda Theta Phi Fraternity Incorporated and Lambda Theta Alpha Sorority Incorporated, both of which were established on the campus of Kean University in 1975, following the institution's launch of bilingual and Latino Caribbean studies programming. Whereas with all spheres, Lambda Theta Phi Latin Fraternity Incorporated and Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated have established a model to emulate and a standard of excellence toward which all others might strive. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby congratulates Lambda Theta Phi Fraternity Incorporated and Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated as their members celebrate 50 years of service, camaraderie, and accomplishment, pays tribute to the history-making achievement of both organizations, and extends sincere best wishes for their continued vigor in all the years to come. And be it further resolved that a duly authenticated copy of this resolution signed by the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and the Assembly Clerk be transmitted to Lambda Theta Phi Fraternity Incorporated and Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated. Believe it or not, that's only part of the resolution. So I would like to welcome the members that are here to represent both organizations. So I'm going to say all of their names first, and then I'll ask them to come to the stage. So representing Lambda Theta Phi Latin Fraternity Incorporated, founding father Reynaldo Lago, and brother Eduardo Espinal. And now I'd like to ask my sisters, founding mother Maria Gautier, to the stage, please. Sister Iris Rodriguez, Sister Yanet Rodriguez, and our national president, Rosa Diaz.
Congratulations again to Lambda Theta Phi Latin Fraternity Incorporated and Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated. Thank you for your service, and we here at Kean University appreciates you. Onward to the next for our program is the Kean First video presentation, which was amazingly edited and composed by our academic specialist from the Office for Student Retention and Educational Innovation, Sandra Bandera.
Thank you, Tiff, for the introduction. So good afternoon, everyone. I stand here as a proud first-generation college student. I earned my degree from Kean University in May of 2024, and I know firsthand the determination, strength, and resilience it takes to reach this moment. When I created this video, my goal was to capture what it means to be a first-gen student at Kean. You'll see and hear from Kean students, faculty, and alumni who, like you, were the first in their families to take this path and to thrive. This video is more than just a recognition of first-gen students and alumni. It's a reminder that none of us have climbed alone. We had the strength of a community behind us, the support of those who believed in us, and access to resources that help turn dreams into degrees. Kean University itself is no stranger to being first, and now you're part of that legacy. Today marks the first ever celebration event specifically honoring first-gen students, and that's a pretty powerful milestone. So as you watch, I hope you feel seen, celebrated, and proud, because in May, you're not just graduating, you're making history. Thank you, and please enjoy the video.
We are first gen.
I am first gen.
Soy primera generación.
I am first gen.
Você é a primeira geração.
I am first gen.
I'm first gen.
Eu sou a primeira geração.
I am first gen.
我是我们家第一代大学生。
I'm first gen. My primera generation.
I am a Kean online student. There was a 10-year gap that I had taken from school. So as an EOF student coming in, it was full steam ahead. As I kind of started to ease into the beginning of my sophomore year, life just started to take its toll, so I had to take a break. It was just something kept nudging and poking at me. And I'm like, I have to go back to school. That could have not been accomplished without the support from EOF, without the support from the Office of Student Retention and Educational Innovation. You know, with a full-time job, 4 children, a dog, a husband. There's a lot that goes into everyday life, so I had to transition back online.
Kane has helped me as a first-gen student by making my career path as simple as possible.
I think one of the most impactful things that have happened to me here at Kane is that I've received so much support from our faculty and administration that have certainly led me on the path to succeed.
Kane has made me very prideful to be a first-gen student. Being the first person in my family to graduate, it means the world to me because I can make them proud. No matter what, through the ups and downs, I was able to push through and do the inevitable.
I've always loved school, and I'm excited to know that I'm starting a legacy for my family by graduating from college here at Kane University in May, and I hope to pursue my academic endeavors at graduate school in the fall.
Being a first gen just means that everything that my ancestors fought and died for, I am a living and growing testimony to that.
I started as a first-gen student in 1958, relatively new school in Union that had just moved from York. I was very unfamiliar with a lot about college, but I persevered. I got my degree here at the university.
I graduated from Kane in 1988 with a degree in business. I became assistant of London Alpha in 1984. I come from older parents. I was brought to the United States in 1972. I was 8 when I came, and I didn't speak any English. Not having any other members in my family to have gone to college, I was blessed to rely on my teachers, that they would guide me. First gen was not something that we noted. When I started college, I started in Passaic Community College in Patterson. I wanted something more. I used to come to Kane since 1981 with Annabelle Torres, a sister from the second line. She used to bring me, and I used to see them doing events, engaging with each other. And to me, that was like so beautiful to see them wearing burgundy and gray, and how proud they were of what they were doing for the community of campus as well as outside of campus. I decided then to transfer to Kane.
I attended Kane College back then, now known as Kane University, and I went from 1979 through 1984. My degree is in marketing business administration. I'm also a brother of Lambda Theta Phi, Lambda Fraternity Incorporated. I became a brother of that fall semester, 1979. At that time, the fraternity was only 4 years old. It started in 1975, still finding our ways.
There wasn't much in the way of assistance and support for new students, and much less students who had never had the experience from their families learning what it was like to be in college. It was something you had to learn on your own, and you kind of leaned on your fellow students and friends that you made when you got here. That kind of was what has motivated me all these years to be able to provide an easier transition for first-gen students coming to colleges and universities. It's just incredible the amount of support that's there for our students today as compared to what was there when I first started many years ago.
I was raised in Patterson, New Jersey. I came from Puerto Rico, my parents are Puerto Rican. The group from Patterson, New Jersey, Aspira group, they did a lot of college visits. When we visited Kane University, Kane College at that time, the founding fathers and founding mothers of Lambda Theta Phi, Lambda Theta Alpha had a special program set aside for us Latino students. And I saw the love that they had for each other, the camaraderie that they had for the brothers, the sisters, how they got around. It intrigued me. When we got the letters of acceptance to go to college, through financial aid that helped us to get to college, because my parents, factory workers, couldn't afford college. We did the summer program, EOF summer program, for 6 weeks.
So we had the support system of the counselors in the EO program, and also organizations that we had on campus, which was mostly run by brothers of Lambda Theta Phi and sisters of Lambda Theta Alpha. We had that commitment with each other to help each other, the Latino community that we had at that time. But the support system was coming more from students to each other, because the university didn't really have all those resources that you have today. I find that this is a very familiar school. It makes you feel comfortable. The students were engaging with each other, and it was an amazing place to be.
I went on, got my master's degree, and began working here full-time in 1965. This is my 60th year working at Kane University. It's been a wonderful time for me to be able to serve students, to work with them, to help this college grow to a university, and to see it really emerge as an institution that's designed to meet the needs of our students and our communities, provide opportunity and growth. What we now have is a very, very diverse university. Wasn't that way when I got here. My advice to all the first-gen graduates out there, find something that you love doing. Because if you do, as the old saying goes, you'll never work a day in your life.
Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to be yourself and to voice your opinion wherever you go. Because sometimes we tend to limit ourselves and we hold ourselves back. You always remember there were other first gen that went through it and still can come and talk to you about how great it is to be educated and to be out there and expose yourself to a better way of life.
If your company offers you some kind of retirement plan, do it. Take it. You may say, oh, I need my money for this, for that, but listen, years fly by.
I know the class of 2025, we're going to do great things, and I know whichever field that we've chosen to graduate and go down will make a difference in this world.
I am first gen.
I am first gen.
I am first gen.
Soy la primera.
I am first gen.
I am first gen.
I am first gen.
I am first gen.
We are first gen.
I'm first gen.
Thank you. I thought I heard the echo, but we're good. We're good. All right, and now double duty, right? Because Cougars not only climb higher, but we are able to multitask. So with that said, I am now delivering the next student address to my fellow first-gen scholars. So just to give you a little snippet of my Cougar story, as I like to call it, I was born and raised in the city of Newark. I was raised in the housing projects of Seth Borton. I graduated from Arts High School. And from high school, I always knew that I wanted to attend college, but I just wasn't sure of the avenue. The guidance counselor that I had really wasn't effective in just informing, you know, those students of where to go, how to get there, what to do. With that said, my mom, who is absolutely amazing, hi, Mommy. She was a single mom due to the death of my dad when I was just 3 years old. And so she didn't have the opportunity to attend college, but she has been a state employee for nearly 40 years. She might get me for saying that, but I say that because she always showed dedication, resiliency, and she also taught me that I was not going to be a statistic, but I was born to be a scholar. And with that said, I knew that I had to set the example not just for my fellow peers, but I also had to take the baton and show my mom that I was capable of being as great and as amazing as she was. So thank you, Mom, for setting the tone and the bar very high for me to continue to climb higher. So as a fellow first-gen scholar, I like to share a few quick yet powerful words of affirmation to remind you that being first is truly a position of great power and one to celebrate. F, first. Merriam-Webster tells us that the meaning of first is coming before all others in time or order. The earliest, first. Preceding all others in order or importance. You're the first. You are the first to ever do it. Your faith and your fearlessness has broken generational barriers because you stood firm in your desire to climb higher. Where you're from doesn't always paint a beautiful picture of where you're going, but it's evident that this was not an accident. We did not allow our fears or being the first to fuel or frame our amazing futures. The freedom to earn your education is a powerful feat. You set the tone and the bar so high for your families and future generations to come. Your education and future successes will lead others to believe that they can do it too. Let that sink in. Because of you, they can and they will. Initiative. It is the power or opportunity to act or take charge before others do. You took the first step to be on top of the world, and some of us at the top of our class. Some of us couldn't fathom this day, to be celebrated and appreciated after all of the struggles and the challenges we faced just to get here. But as the great Nelson Mandela told us, it always seems impossible until it's done. Look around. We're doing it. We're doing it because we have turned the impossible to I'm possible. And you're doing things that some said you couldn't do. You are your biggest investment. Although FAFSA and TAG and Pell has been like our financial besties while we've been in the university, it is now time to fund your future with grace, gratitude, and love for yourself. Resiliency. The capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. If this journey was easy, everyone could say that they did it. Whether you survived an academic setback or a personal tug of war, you bounced back and you braved all of the storms. So revel in your achievements and your accomplishments. As Nipsey Hussle told us, it is not a race, but it's a marathon. So your work does not stop here at Kane University. You were chosen as the conductor of this ride, and even though some days may be slower than others, taking your time during this degree journey has never caused harm or denial. Success. The accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Take a look around. We're nearly done with this chapter of our lives, but our stories are just getting good. Our purpose is powerful, and it means so much to so many. We saw the vision, and we led with strength and a sound mind, sometimes. As the younger generation reminds us, keep that same energy, for success won't work if you don't. This is only a test. Yes, this task is trying, but you are a living testimony that it can be done. Quitting was tempting. I know it was. But look at us now. The turn of that tassel is just a few weeks away. Time didn't wait for us, but we made time work for us. Together we climbed higher, and we will continue to do so with prayer, patience, pacing, and with our family and loved ones cheering us on with love and support. So celebrate in this moment and celebrate this day, and never forget that you were the first to ever do it. And now, at this time, we will have the recognition of our graduates by our Associate Director from Bridge to Success, Christina Riley, and the counselor, the amazing Fleur Angel Cabrera from the Educational Opportunity Fund.
At this time, we do want to let the grads know that if you wish to invite someone to walk up on the stage with you, you'll have the chance to do that. So make sure you scope out whoever you want to accept this with you. And we ask the president's cabinet and any deans to come up and salute the scholars when they cross the stage.
Just a reminder, you will be coming up on the right side.
Sierra Willis Ebron.
Lutania Reed.
Jasmine Rivera.
Aoife Horan.
Brianna Owens.
Leslie Illescas.
Christina Aguilar.
Erika Espejo.
Mia Diaz.
Joangie Vargas.
Angelica Frias.
Jaonel Parra Montero.
Savvy Lakai.
Aileen Paredes.
Damania Davis.
Ruma Ali.
Brianna Hernandez.
Latrice Fairley.
Aliyah Budram.
Joy Allen.
Aurelia Allen.
Oh, Alyssa Descala. Oh.
Alexis Zielinski.
Emma Zielinski.
And Madison Zielinski.
Yamilet Candelario.
Patricia Evans.
Melanie Wasuayo.
Judith Rodriguez.
Natasha Dorsley.
Luckerly Barthelus.
Josephine Carrillo.
Victoria Regito.
Joel de la Cruz.
Lauri Estevez Rodriguez.
Zoe Hall.
Joylyn Perez.
Stephanie Roa Roman. Genesis Tavares.
Veronica Bonilla.
Renee Rocha. Bárbara Ardón Varillas.
Montserrat Hidalgo.
Cristal Brito.
Tatiani Gabarel.
Donald Savo.
Laura Vieses Olivo.
Romeo Nipan.
Brian Cordova.
Chris Merlin La Antigua.
Alize Coleman.
Génesis de Jesús.
Joy Adams.
Jocelyn Juki.
Mina Assad.
Kema Zamor.
Ashley Guzman Reyes.
Autumn Nicole Haywood.
Beatrice Cruz.
Kayana Kimbrough.
And last but not least, Tiffany Cooper. Could the committee come to the stage? First Gen Committee to the stage. Ahora. quick. And before we move on from saluting our grads, we do ask that all the family present stand up and also salute your grads. So stand up and give the grads a round of applause, please.
So on behalf of all of the first gen scholars that are here, we would just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you to our entire university for just celebrating us, for seeing us, and for your continuous support. We will now have closing remarks from Academic Advisor Matthew Smith from the Center for Advising, Persistence, and Success.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we wanted to thank a few individuals who are a part of the Kane community. First and foremost, we'd like to thank President Rappelette for his support and willingness to participate in our first To Climb Higher celebration. Can we give him a hand? There's a few other entities we'd like to just say a special thanks to: the President's Office, the Office of Governmental Affairs and Community Partnerships, the first To Climb Higher logo designer, Jennifer Hidalgo, as well as our Mistress of Ceremonies, Tiffany Cooper. Can we give them all a hand? We would also like to thank all senior leadership and administrators for their support and attendance for this event. Can we give them a hand as well? Thank you. And then just a few more individuals. We have Alyssa Descala. Thank you. Sandra Bandera. Thank you. Our K&IT department. Thank you so much. And can I have all members of the First To Climb Higher Celebration Committee to please stand? So all members who are on the committee, if you could just stand for us. So to our committee members, thank you for your hard work and contributions that made tonight's event a success. Thank you again. Now it is raffle time. Anybody excited? So we will be raffling off 2 degree frames. And so you were given a ticket before you entered the room. So I'll give you about a minute to just get your ticket, okay? And then I'll read off one number. Okay? And we just want to say one note. The degree frames are from the Office of Student Retention, so can you just give them a hand, please? Thank you. All right, so the ticket number is 944407. Are you in the house? All right. Yep. And we're going to take a picture. Ticket. We got one more. Try and pick from the bottom. Hold on. All right. We have 944332. 944332. Oh, no? Okay. I'm going to go on. All right. We have 944406. Again, 944406. Okay, I'm gonna go again. All right, let's try this one. 944-351. Again, 944-351. Pick one. 944-334. Come on. I got you. I got you. Can we give our winners a hand? All right, everybody. So we have food by Taino's Kitchen, music by DJ Nix, photos and honorary gifts will be provided downstairs in the first floor atrium. Thank you all for attending the First to Climb Higher celebration. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.